I'm sure that you must have had a great time working with Salman.
Salman's got, a huge heart. He's fond of you, and he'll go all out to give you the best possible opportunity. And he's a genuine well-wisher of yours. If you'll both know each other well, and if there's a mutual respect.
You were asked about the fact that what about the killer instinct? Do you think that is required to be a successful star in the industry?
In the long term, that's the only thing that works. I mean, authenticity. I've worked with, some of the top actors, whether it's Ajay, whether it's Salman, whether it's Sanju, whether it's Anil Kapoor, whether it's Akshay.
Shah Rukh as well.
They're all very ambitious, they're all very hardworking. I haven't worked with Amir, but I've been a huge fan of Amir. Hi, this is Fardeen Khan and you're watching Bollywood Hungama.
Did you miss the film industry during that phase? Did you miss being in front of the camera?
Yes, in spurts. In spurts, yes. There were phases. There were times when, yes, I want to get back, or you see something you want to do, or you come across an old film of yours, or and that excites you and triggers your desire to get back to work. So yes, of course, I was always going to get back in some form, whether it was as a producer, director is a passion of mine right from the start, and I am certainly going to be directing in the near future.
Definitely, I think this is something that we had discussed with you a long time back when you were.
When it came to acting, I still felt I had a few rounds to go, and it's something I've especially in my last few movies, I really enjoyed acting. You come to a point where you find your anchor as an actor. You get settled. You're relaxed in front of the camera. You find that authenticity, and that came about with some of the comedy films that I did, because with comedy you just got to let go, and that kind of breaks you.
Hey baby, you're all the best.
It started off with actually a few scenes in Khushi. So that's,
of course.
There were a few comedy scenes in Khushi, which were pretty challenging, that had its share of, some scenes. And then Boni offered me no entry, which I was most apprehensive about at the beginning. I said, because it was a remake of a South film. So, of course, Anis adapted it in his own way and made it his own. But my character was played by Prabhu Deva. And of course, he had a very different take on the character as to how I did it. Yeah, so it was a challenge. And then when I did do that, I really let go. And so it was fun. And I had a great team. Working with Anil, he's an incredible actor. I've worked with him in Om Jai Jagdish. Right. And learned a lot from him, and his whole approach, his passion, his technique, his love for what he does. You definitely learn a lot from working with people like him. I was excited to work with him again, and of course Salman and Anis and Boni, and so that kind of broke me as an actor. So and then I really started just let go, and I really started enjoying stuff.
So is the sequel happening? There are speculations about that. No entry.
Yes, it is happening. I don't know what I'm supposed to say officially or not, but yes, it is happening.
Okay,
it's happening. So it's on the cards. I don't ask me anything more now.
Okay.
Who, what, when? You'll know.
Triple roles of all three of you.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yes.
But I'm sure that you must have had a great time working with Salman. I think he really was enjoying himself in that film.
Oh, he was incredible in that movie. Salman and me were literally getting to know each other well on a professional basis, even though Salman and me know each other from a long time ago, from the good old RG days.
Right.
So
what is RG?
Oh, RG's used to be a nightclub in
of course. I'm not a Bombay person, so from that era I've been in
So Salman and me go back before Salman was a superstar Salman, and of course we've known each other, our families have known each other. So but we've never really spent time and hung out and and got to know each other as people. Yes, we've met and we've known all of each other and met, but it was during no entry where we kind of bonded and got to know each other well, and and then we've kept in touch ever since, and I would say we have a very healthy friendship now, and I respect him a lot. And
have you interacted with him of late?
Yeah, no, I've been in touch with him consistently throughout the year.
Oh, okay.
So yes, so we're in touch. We message each other every now and then,
That's
and
amazing.
we meet every now and then. So I mean, of course, he's extremely busy, and but whenever he's in town, we kind of we have met a few times.
Because I think
So
he has this amazing ability to be on the side of people when they really need you. I was speaking to Bobby yesterday, and he said that the way he was got revival of sorts was with race, the way Salman backed him and told him that you need to take off that beard of yours and the खूबसूरत चेहरा है, you need to get into that. And
Salman's got a huge heart, a very beautiful heart, and he genuinely when he's fond of you, and he'll go all out to give you the best possible opportunity, and he's a genuine well wisher of yours if you'll both know each other well, and if there's a mutual respect, you know. And he obviously doesn't talk about it much, but I mean, there are hundreds of stories of people he's helped, and, advised, and if you need something at any point, you need to call him. He'll be there. I mean, or he'll make sure that he's there for you in some way or another. So he's you meet a few people in your life where you're happy you know them, you're happy you met them, and you cherish those relationships, and for me he's one of them. So he's a special person.
I was watching one of your interviews today that happened for Dula Mil Gaya, and you were asked about the fact that what about the killer instinct? Do you think that is required to be a successful star in the industry and all those things? In my personal experience, in so many years covering the film industry, I felt that I've seen so many actors, maybe who tend to overdo at times in terms of the aggression part, be it with media or be it the way they approach their work, and that doesn't work for them either. And some tend to be a bit like say laid back, and maybe that doesn't work either. But what I've seen is that what generally has worked for actors or stars is that element of being themselves. More than anything else, more than killer instinct or aggression or just cutting other people's parts and all those things, it is being yourself. That is something that matters the most. What is your theory? How do you philosophize when you look back at how your career
Listen, I
has
mean,
been?
I don't take away anything from anyone in terms of ambition, or having huge ambitions, or I don't think that's the question. The question is, like what you just said, authenticity. And you said being yourself, I call it authenticity. It's the same thing. So in the long term, that's the only thing that works. I mean, authenticity. And of course, uh, we're in films are as much an art form as they are a business. So there's a lot of thought put into, well, one of the most important things that you got to teach yourself is how to select your movies. There'll be films that will work for you commercially. There'll be films that will work for you artistically. There'll be films that work on very different levels. There's some rare chances where you come across a film where, which has commercial appeal as well as it's relevant to people on socio-economic levels or on a personal basis or just about life. You know, uh, but it's important to have goals. I think that's very very clear. So, and it's important not to have invalid excuses. You know, so of course, by all means, be as ambitious as you want, but don't lose authenticity. Have high goals, yes, but achieve them with integrity, and that's what sees you through in the long run. I mean, you look at any of the top actors. There's no better example than Amitji. I mean, he's been consistent. I mean, that's one of his biggest strengths. In good times, bad times, in every situation, the way he responds, he's been himself, he's been consistent. Yes, of
Absolutely.
course, being a celebrity of that status, I mean, is comes with its own challenges, but for the most part, he is who he is. I mean, when you see him, how he is outside, when you go to his house for Diwali or you go to his house for Holi, he's still, that's who he is.
No, absolutely.
And I've worked with some of the top actors, whether it's Ajay, whether it's Salman, whether it's Sanju, whether it's Anil Kapoor, whether it's Akshay,
Shah Rukh as well in Dula Mil
Shahrukh
Gaya.
as well.
With Hey Baby, he had a song.
I mean, they're all. I mean, I've observed this. I've observed this. I mean, they're all very ambitious. They're all very hardworking. They all have specific goals as to what they want to achieve, but at the same time they're all authentic, and that's Amir. I haven't worked with Amir, but I've been a huge fan of Amir. Lot to learn from him, and even Ritik for that matter. But I mean, they've all. I mean, it's not easy to be at top of your game. I mean, Amitji's anomaly. He's one of a kind. A third generation, he's going on.
One of a kind in the world, actually.
Oh yeah, 3 generations. He's at the top of his game. I mean,
Clint Eastwood.
and then you have this whole batch. From Ajay to Akshay to Salman, Shah Rukh, what you call Amir. I mean, Saif even. I mean, they've all been extremely authentic, and not that they've not been ambitious. They've all had their killer instinct. Yes, they've had ups and downs. It's part of any profession, any career. But it's just that in our profession, we just make a bigger deal out of it because it's not magnified. It's part of the trade, no? Who's done well, not too well. This flop, that's done well. It's part of business. So you just got to take it in the right spirit. You don't take it personally, but authenticity is key. I mean, and in today's day and age, it's different now. Social media, the identity people have an option to actually project different identities. I mean, that's one of the whole debates that are happening in terms of the ills of social media. Back then, I mean, and I come from that school of thought, whether it's my father's generation, the generation before him, or all of us, whether Shah Rukh, Salman, Saif, all of us, up to Ritik, we had to. I mean, our identity, we had to literally earn our stripes in terms of what we put out. It had to be. I mean, we didn't have social media. We can be something in one day, and tomorrow you can try and be something completely different and project this just at the click of a button. No, I mean, you have to be consistent and create this identity for yourself. I mean, I shouldn't say create it, but I mean, people competed more on persona, and they projected that through their magazines and through the articles. But on social media, when the the filter through, you have direct access to your audience. There's no middle person anymore. So I mean, you can project whatever you want, and that's when people grow up in that. They're pretty. It's very variable in terms of what identities they put out. So that's where, I mean, and this is not just a film problem. This is a problem for people who get onto social media right from a very young, from their teenage years, from whenever they're introduced to it. Yeah. They have these double, triple, multiple identities as to who they are, and just to fit in. And that's a trend that is being discussed everywhere, and it's not healthy emotionally for people at all.
Definitely. All right, now Visfot.
Yes.
How was the experience of being part of Visfot?
Amazing. No, I've really enjoyed it. It's been a long gap, 11 years. Firstly, extremely grateful to Sanjay Gupta. I went and met him. I said, Sanjay, can I come and meet you? I want to get back to work. So he met me, saw me, and he was pretty quick in offering me something. We had a great experience working together at Acid Factory. And, he says, I have this film, Fardeen, take a look. And if you like it, I mean, Ritesh was already signed on to it. I'm extremely grateful and indebted to him for still having that belief, for just seeing me, meeting me, and saying, okay, it's there for you. And on a personal level, as an actor, it's been. I mean, you of course you've had you come with a little more wisdom, a little more life experience. Your resource, which is your emotional resource, where you draw from. Well, obviously that well is deeper. It's a little more experience, and you're mature. So you come with a whole different perception, and you've had enough. I mean, I've had more than enough time to think about the 26 films I've done before that. So this is my 27th movie.
Right.
So you come with a fresh eye, and you come with a whole different approach to work, and I mean, of course, back in the day, I mean, I was never as focused as I should have been. but this time I'm extremely focused, and it means so much more. And I was so happy to be working with Ritesh again. He's someone I'm extremely close to. And at the time they hadn't decided on the director as yet. And then Cookie came along, and I was very excited to be working with Cookie Gulhati, because we go back to, he shot one of our ads for Pro Vogue way back in the day. So I know Cookie from my Provoke days, right from the beginning. As Cookie says, he was a fanboy. So in that sense, I had the comfort levels were very high for Visfot, and it's something I've never done before. It's a very different character, something I'm very excited to see how it all turns out. I've got some good feedback on how things have worked out, and even Crystal, working with Crystal and Priya, have been. I mean, even though she and me don't have a scene together, but just one. But it's been amazing. It's been really, really amazing. Very gratifying. Fortunate. I'm really, really happy that this was my first film.
Right. And what about OTT? Can we see you doing, say, web shows?
Absolutely. I've been reading some. I've haven't really found the one I want to be a part of, but I've read about 3 or 4 concepts have come my way, and in fact, I'm going to be reading a couple next week.
That should be amazing.
And yeah, so yes, no. Oh, I'm here to work, man. I mean, a special appearance, part, whatever it is, web series, anything. Here to
That's
act.
great.
I'm excited about it, and so I'm here for good now. Hi, this is Fardeen Khan, and you're watching Bollywood Hungama.